Hi, I'm Jude from headfi.org, and this is the 2019 CanJam SoCal preview. Last year I was introduced to a headphone that was unlike any other I'd seen or heard before. It was not a traditional electrodynamic design, and it wasn't planar magnetic or electrostatic either. It's called the RAAL-requisite SR1a, and I think the SR1a is the world's first full-range, true ribbon headphone. Now, if you're not familiar with ribbon drivers, I only have time to give you a few-second primer here. The ribbon driver's radiating element is an extremely thin corrugated aluminum ribbon that's extremely light and extremely flexible. This ribbon is mounted on its top and bottom, but otherwise free to move. It's suspended between magnets adjacent to it, each side of opposite poles. Power from the amplifier, the music signal, is applied through the ribbon, which develops a magnetic field, and this ribbon is then evenly driven over its entire surface. Because of its loose flexibility, the resonant frequency of the ribbon is actually quite low. In the case of the SR1a, its resonance is tuned to around 30 Hz. In essence, the ribbon then, based on resonance frequency, kind of wants to be a woofer. Now, these ribbons are exceedingly light, orders of magnitude lighter than traditional moving coil electrodynamic drivers and even planar magnetic drivers, as no conductive trace needs to be laid over the diaphragm, in this case the ribbon, to make it conductive. Now, this is a pretty rudimentary explanation, but the long and short of it is the ribbon driver in the RAAL-requisite SR1a is fast, and I mean fast, and it has bass it naturally wants to reproduce. There's nothing I've heard quite like the SR1a. It's its own thing. It's important to note this about the SR1a. I think the headphones themselves would present a load to the amp of around 0.02 ohm, essentially a short circuit. And of course, no amp is going to be digging on that. So the RAAL-requisite comes with this amplifier interface unit that presents a more manageable 6 ohms to the amp. Now, you will need a loudspeaker driving amp for these. Now, for a system, I'm using the Chord Hugo TT2, Chord Hugo M-Scaler, and the Chord T-Toby amp, which can output 100 watts into 4 ohms, and the T-Toby drives the SR1a beautifully. Danny McKinney from RAAL-requisite tells me that the SR1a's transparency makes the differences between amps very obvious. So you know what I'm thinking? Tube amp. Yeah, I'm going there too. The RAAL-requisite SR1a is as fast and responsive as any headphone I've heard, regardless of driver type, and this is across the entire audio band. And the tonal balance is also linear from one end to the other. Like I said, it's its own thing. At first, the SR1a's bass sounded a touch lean to me, it being rated for a frequency response of 33 Hz to 30 kHz, but after listening for a while, it's the presentation and the resolution of the whole that pulls you fully into the music. I've especially found this true with classical music and other acoustic music where there's a sense of space in the recording. Adjust the earpieces, you can adjust their angles, and you feel like you can recreate the actual venue, the space, the charged acoustic, the air. And it doesn't have to be orchestral. A girl alone singing with her guitar, that works too. This is the best loudspeaker type imaging I've heard from a headphone. Fantastic imaging. Now, would the SR1a be my first choice for hip-hop all day? Maybe not. It can also be a bit much, a bit too merciless with poor recordings. But with good and great recordings, damn. The RAAL-requisite SR1a is easily one of the most important must-hear headphones at CanJam. Do not miss it.